Hello, everybody. Sound check, sound check, sound check, sound check. Can anybody hear me? All right, who can hear me? Hello, hello. Who we got? Robin, Kelly, Miss Potts, Micah Z. Can you all hear me? Okay, okay. Thank you, Audrey. Oh, Baron Van Richtofen. Richtofen. I think that's Richtofen. Hi, Baron, Micah Z, Robin, Stephanie Elazar. Hey, Stephanie. All right, we got a good group. We got a great group tonight then. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I would like to say a quick welcome to our latest members, which I will post here on the screen. All right, and let's see. Uh, 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 uh. Let me get organized here. All right, and so let's give a great big welcome to Miss Q, Lulu Love, Melissa Q, or Melissa D. I'm sorry. Let me widen my screen. Melissa D, Nicolette Vella, G Mama 27, American Princess, Kathy Jean, Dorota, Night Nurse 71, Beryl River Girl, Leslie Vasquez, and Tallulah Sharp. Welcome everyone. Does anybody know Tallulah Sharp? I haven't seen any posts in the video chats yet or whatever to be able to say hello. Does anybody know Tallulah? Well, hello and welcome to you, Tallulah, if you're watching or you get a chance to watch later on. Welcome, and we would love to hear from you so that we can meet and greet. And a great big welcome to every member, starting with the first to the last. Thank you. Welcome, and I appreciate you. We have great members so far. We've got a great board of directors. Awesome, an awesome group. All right. Okay, I don't think I really have any other order of business before we start talking about the cases. All right, you already know that there's merchandise for sale here. Shout out to Robin Latham for being the first person to order. Okay, she was the first person to order from the merch store. Thank you so much, Robin. And she ordered a apron, I believe. And so if you would like to see some live shots of it, maybe she will email you a pic if you would like to see it. All right, and there are shirts and cups and all kinds of nice things. So whenever you get a chance, you can check out that great merch. And thank you for supporting the channel. Okay, the ads have started on here, and sooner or later the channel will get its first Google AdSense paycheck. Yay! Okay. And I want to thank everybody that's been donating, carrying the channel up into this month to where we will actually receive some funding from being able to have ads. Okay? So that's something to look forward to. Thank you to those who donate through Cash App and PayPal. And I think I'm going to add Payoneer. So if anybody uses that or would like to see that as part of a pay method, then just let me know. All right. But thank you so much to everyone that got us to this point. You know, for the first 5 months, all we could do was donate, right? And so we made it to a point where you have several ways to support the channel. If it's not buying merch or donating through these two channels, there's the super stickers and chats and stuff, and everybody's just been great joining as members. All of that helps, and I just want to say thank you to everyone. Welcome new members. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for showing up and posting in the video chat sessions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everything is much appreciated. Now let's see. I want to start out with something that I've been talking about for a week here, and it's pretty much been the same thing, investigating the officers. All right, before we get started, let me see who's in the chat. Let me check this out right quick. All right. Hello, Robin and Kelly, Miss Potts, Micah Z, Stephanie, Elizar, Audrey Cakes, Baron Van Richthofen. All right. Who else we got here? I think I said you, Miss Potts. And One Maiden Nut. Shout out to One Maiden Nut. I give you a shout out. Good to see you. Good to see you. Great to see you. Great to see you. American Princess. Shout out to American Princess. Oh, Steve's in here. Shout out to Steve K. Yep. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Now, as you know, we have been talking about the officers and why Ann Taylor would want to ask for training records for any of the officers. I mean, why even go there? Right? So let me add my first visual. You guys are so good. You always come out and ready to go, ready to go. Now, you know that our suspect for the week is who? Who is our suspect for the week? Somebody type it in the chat. Somebody tell me who is our suspect for the week. Use a nickname. Oh, y'all have not been paying attention then. If you don't know who the suspect is for the week, I'm going to give you a clue. All right, here's a clue. All right. Now, who is our suspect this week? No, it's not Opie. Who is it? Oh, you can't see the clue yet. Here it comes. All right. That's our suspect for the week. And everything we say regarding this suspect is speculation. We're just a bunch of strangers that get together online and talk about true crime. We're not fingering anybody, and we're not writing in stone that anyone has committed a crime. All right? We're just talking. All right, now, we know who the suspect is. And as you know, Leslie, it's me. It's on the last video I made. Because when I looked up some stuff for the officer, I couldn't even find anything hardly. The only person that came up was Leslie. It's me. Leslie, that's me. That's all. That's the only media that came up for this guy on the whole internet, is what I'm telling you. All right, and this right here, it says, I don't think this is the same guy. If you look at the body cam, the officer has no tattoos on his arms. All right, well, let's look at it. I'm going to look at it. Because this guy definitely has tattoos on his leg. And I'm going to look and see. Because tattoos are something that you get over time. And so, I don't know when these pictures were posted. I know for a fact that one of them is not him because he has a different tattoo on his leg. But as far as this stomach, there's a few pictures of it. There's a few pictures of it. And I'm getting ready to see if I can see the tattoos or the lack thereof. Okay, what do you guys say? Let me see what's going on in the chat while I look that up. All right. Okay, I got the video up. And I'm getting ready to look at it off the screen because I don't have a browser open. But I can take a screenshot though. So just give me a minute. Okay, so while that's going, what's going on in the chat over here? The Rosendahl in a body cam is a ghost. Okay, no, he's got to be around. He's got to be around. That's what people are saying. But he's got to be around. Okay, I got it up. And if I can see real good, I'll make screenshots. All right, on his right arm, I don't see any tattoos. On his right arm. Okay, let me put that up here so you can see it. I believe this is his right arm. And it looks clean. You're right. All right. His arm looks clean to me. I don't know about the one over there on the other side, but his right arm is clean. All right. I'm going to show you another picture. Hold on just 1 second. I got a little too much open here. All right, well, this guy is Nate whatever, and his right arm is clean. I put that in the chat. His right arm is clean in the body cam. So I don't know how this could be the same person unless he went and got it recently. I mean, they're at the bottom of his page, his Instagram page. They're at the very bottom. So either he added those first or last. I'm just not sure. But his right arm is clean. All right. Well, let's try another photo and see if we can get an ID. Because just because that's not him doesn't mean it's not his page. Because he could have other people pictures posted on there. Let's see if this is him. Let's see if this is him. No, this is not him either. This can't be the same person. This can't be the same person unless he took these pictures, you know, just a few months ago. I just can't see it. And the facial hair. I don't think that's him. Oh, Renee Phillips. Oh, shout out to Renee. Shout out to Renee. The pic might be flipped. Yeah, I saw one of those today. A fake photo. All right. Well, I don't think this is the, oh my goodness. That's not him either. Because this body count is 2022. So he would have had something. I mean, I don't think he got all of those in just a few months. I just don't believe it. Hey, Just Amber. Shout out to Just Amber. Well, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Because these can't be him. The ones with the tattoo can't be him. So that Instagram, that's somebody else unless he's posting pictures of another guy. All right, this one right here, I know for a fact it's not him. Because he has something different on the other leg. You can see this is something totally different. I don't know who that is. I don't know who this is, but it's not even Rosie. I don't know. Well, we're gonna have to squash that because I don't want to pass false information. And this guy, his arm is clean on this. I'm sitting here looking at the body cam, and that's the most recent, as far as we know. That was just in August. So he didn't get all of those between August and now. He had to have them. So this is not good. This is no good. We have to throw this out. We have to throw this Instagram out because it's not right. All right? Now, one thing I do know about the real Rosie is that he's from Bellingham, Washington, I believe. This guy is from Bellingham, Washington. All right, and so he has been a cop. He was a cop in Washington, and then he came and became a cop in Moscow. This is nothing new for him. He's been in law enforcement for a long time, and he also spent time in the military, I believe. I was reading the annual report, and the annual report said that he was a policeman in Bellingham, and then he came to Moscow and became a a law enforcement officer. And then from there, he came back to Moscow. And then I think he said it was well, here, let me put it up on the screen. Instead of keep saying, I think he's because he said this and that and the other. This is what we know. And I'm getting ready to ask y'all some questions. Okay, here's question number 1. And I'd like for you to type your answer in the chat. Yes or no. Do you believe that Nathan Rosie is a potential suspect for this crime? Yes or no. Do you believe that he's capable of being at least one of the perpetrators, if not the only perpetrator, if one person did it? This guy is on body cam on the 13th with the guy who stole the street sign around 3:30 a.m. All right, shout out to Kelly. Let's get this thing going. Let's get it going. Shout out to Kelly. All right, and so he's been around. He's around, this guy. He's around. But I still want to know, do you think that he is a viable suspect? It's no use in us spending time. I think he ran cover for who did do it. Shout out to Miss Potts. That's interesting. She said she thinks that he was cloaking for the person that did do it. And then I got 2 for yes. Hey, it's not looking too good. We're going to have to do, we got 3 yeses. Steve, shout out to Steve. We got 3.5 yeses. That he could be a good suspect. I don't see how anybody would say that he's not. Okay, do you remember the video? And I can't keep pulling all this stuff up or it'll crash. I had too much open today. But remember in the last video, I know he worked SWAT in Washington, Robin. He worked SWAT in Bellingham. Shout out to Robin. He did work on the SWAT team in Bellingham, Washington, and I mean he has military training. If we got the right person, because some of this information is the wrong Nate. So I'm assuming he was in the military before. I think his job was to ID Kaylee at King Road and run cover that night at Banfield when she was back for the weekend, just my opinion. Shout out to Miss Potts. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a brain for that because think about it. What would he need with her driver's license to the point that he is taking a picture of it on camera? He didn't even care that he was on body cam. That's how arrogant he was with what he was doing. I mean, it's like he was in denial about whether or not he should have been at that house. Remember when he said, if we have to come back here, they're getting tickets. He said he was threatening, giving threats, and he wasn't even supposed to be there. Was he undercover? He was giving threats and he wasn't. Please tell me this man wasn't undercover. Please tell me that this man was not undercover, because he's on body cam threatening the people that's inside the house. He said clearly, if we have to come back, they're gonna get tickets. If he had to come back, he had no reason, no authorization to be on that property when he said that. That's so scary to me. So scary. All right? Congratulations, Miss Potts. They all suspect to me. Renee Phillips. Shout out to Audrey and Renee. All right, shout out to Audrey and Renee. Does that make sense to you? That this guy is just walked up on these people's property and started barking orders. Tell him to come to the door. Like he's the Mac Daddy or whatever you call it. And then he popped up at the back door. He left Officer Green in the dust. He couldn't wait to run to the back door. And then when she came out, oh, is this your place? He knew whose place. He knew. He told Hunter to go and get her. Anybody could have came to the door and said, yeah, man, what do you want? He could have told anybody to turn music down. But he wanted Kaylee to come out. I don't care. That's my theory. I'm not saying it for fact. I'm saying that's my theory. I don't think he works there anymore. The last case I seen him in was December 7th at the trailer park in the James Leonard DV call. Oh, that was this year. That was this year. That was this year in the James Leonard. Because somebody told me he got fired, Robin. Shout out to Robin. Somebody told me he got fired. And I mean, it probably was lack of protocol. But somebody told me he was at the house on the 13th. In the crowd. When the responding officers got there, they said he was there too. I wonder if Rosie was Kaylee's make me a quesadilla date, huh? Shout out to Miss Potts. Could be. Somebody was her date because she was buried in that phone. Buried in that phone. You couldn't even see her face half the time at the grub truck. Just Amber. Shout out to Just Amber. Now, I'm telling you, I hope he was not undercover. Guess what? I just don't believe. I'm just looking at his behavior. To me, his behavior was beyond just being a bullying policeman. His behavior was borderline stalker. The more that man told him to come on, the more Officer Green gently was prodding him to just leave the door and let's go, because Officer Green knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He knew they weren't supposed to be there. First thing out of his mouth was they're going to say some law about trespassing or right to property, right to entry. First thing he said, quoted, was the law that establishes they're not supposed to be there. He didn't listen. He went back to the door and started knocking again. And to me, that's a stalker. I think Hunter came out with her because she didn't feel safe with those officers. Shout out to Just Amber again. Listen, I think Hunter came out because that's what he's trained to do. Hunter is always in the pictures. He's at the door in the front when the police come. He's coming out with Kaylee in the back. He's the one that called 911 and felt some pulse. Everywhere you look, it's Hunter, Hunter, Hunter. It's Hunter, Hunter everywhere you look. And I'm wondering why nobody's saying anything about it, because everywhere you look, Hunter is right there. And then he closed it out. He was there taking somebody's pulse and calling 911 on somebody's phone. Everywhere you look, he's in all of them. He's in all of the photos. He's at the front door with the police. Let me find this picture. That dude is in every picture. That dude is in every picture. Every time the police go to Key Road, he's in the picture. And he's moving around like he lives there. He's moving around. He moves around like that's his house. Well, he was a close friend, all right. Every time you turn around, he's moving back and forth. He wasn't just sitting there listening for Kaylee. for Kaylee's protection. He wasn't just there for that. He was in and out the house. Look at this. He's going back in the house. And you notice the officer didn't ask for her ID until after Hunter was in the house, going in the house for something. They say he was Ethan's best friend. He's there all the time. And in this picture, Ethan's Jeep is not there. It's somebody else. All right, hello. Shout out to Hiroshima. Welcome. Welcome. All right, what I'm saying is, he's always there. You see on this picture, he's going back in the house. For what? What's he going back in the house for? And as soon as he's back in the house, that's when he asks for the ID and takes the picture. He didn't do that in front of Hunter. That guy is slick. Rosie is slick. Right. Shout out to Miss Potts. What did he do with it? Because he was not leaving without it. And Officer Greer acts like he just really didn't know, he just act like he's ready to go. Hey man, we're not even supposed to be over here. They're gonna cite property laws if you go in that sliding glass door. That's the first thing he did, was stop him from going in that house on body cam, knowing he's not supposed to be there. That was the first thing he did. And then he kept telling them to leave. But his behavior is disturbing. And I don't say that often, because to me, people do things for a reason. So what we might find disturbing might have a perfectly good reason. But this is disturbing. For somebody to keep saying, come on, man, let's go. And for him to just keep knocking on the door and leaning on the post like he lives there, or he bought some stock in that property. He's leaning on the post. I mean, it's like he's got to be touching the property. He can't just even stand over there in the grass. He's got to be touching it in some kind of way. Hey, I'm attached to this some kind of way. That's not normal. Yeah, that's the one who said it's better to spend money in beers rather than tickets. He told the guys that, and he told Kaylee that. Now, what sense that make to tell some young people to spend $300 on beer? I think it's insulting. Basically, it's calling them alcoholics just because they're having a get together in the middle of the day. That doesn't mean that they're alcoholics. Just because they're having a get together in the middle of the day in a college town with perfect weather. I'm just saying. Hey, Jackie Bushable. Welcome, Jackie. Shout out to Jackie. Jackie B. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. He went straight for the slider like he knew exactly where he was going. He did, Miss Potts. And they tried to trick us into thinking that he was just walking up that grass while he was saying nobody's answering the door. He was already at the other door. And if you don't really pay attention, the way it cuts in and out, while he's going around to the door, the body cam switches to the young man with the book bag. And it's like they're all talking to him. But that's not the case, because Rose is going around the corner. And he's already talking to Hunter. He could have bought some dope for all we know. He was over there talking to Hunter, and Hunter went back in the house. For all we know, he could have got him a sack. While in the amount of time that Officer Green took to give this young man with the book bag on his back a card, he couldn't search him for drugs. I mean, the kids know the law more than we do. Renee Phillips, we need to know why he's fired. You getting a brain for that? Boy, would I like to know. Boy, because there's something wrong. And this was when they first got there. I mean, I don't know if they moved in June or what, but August the 16th, the kids just got to school, man. Give them a break. They just got to school. They just got to the school. August the 16th, school just taken in. And you acting like this already? They say he was fired here, Hiroshima. This is what they tell me, he was fired. Oh, Tammy Hammond. Oh, look at those beautiful gifts. Thank you, Tammy. Shout out to Tammy. Much love to you. And thank you. Thank you for the beautiful gifts. I tell you. All right. Thank you. Now, I'm telling you, this is great. This is great. This is a prime suspect. He's already shown that he's controlling. He won't take no for an answer. He's got some kind of affection for this home, somebody in it, because you don't just act like that because you just happen to walk past a house that is known for partying. Nobody's outside doing anything disrespectful. You don't have a warrant to search the guy with the book bag. So, I mean, there's nothing there. There was nothing going on there to just keep patrolling the neighborhood. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. I didn't know. Happy birthday, Tammy. I didn't know. That's what everything's going on. Okay, let me find a happy birthday. Just a minute. Hold on, just a minute. Let me find the birthday. Stop the presses. Now, what I'm saying is, he's already shown he's out of control. He's already shown. And so it's no reason, I mean, depending on his background, if he has military background, if he was fired for messing around with young girls or something sexual, anything like that, if he, you know, if other things are there to go along with this, the other things that he's done, we got us a suspect, is what I'm telling you. Now, it's just hard to find information on him. So, is what I'm saying. It's hard. I mean, besides the annual police report doesn't say much. It doesn't say much. We have to do some real digging here. The only thing I could find was that clip by Leslie, that's me. But that Instagram, that doesn't match him. Because we looked at his arms, I looked at his arms, and his arms are clean at the door. That's what I say. But that doesn't mean he's not the suspect. That's not that. I didn't hear it either. The only thing I heard, but Anti-crimer. Shout out to anti-crimer. Isn't that who we supposed to be looking for? Somebody obsessed with the girls. Isn't that who we supposed to be looking for? Isn't that who we're supposed to be looking for? Is somebody obsessed with at least one of the girls? Wasn't that who the police told us we're supposed to be looking for? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, Tammy. I got something for you. I got something for you, Tammy. All right. Now, we got somebody with a temper. He was threatening the people inside the house before anybody even came out. All right. He showed signs of some type of unhealthy affection, and he had no business taking that ID. And so we need to find out why he was let go, because it's not in the annual report, or it's sort of not in the report, because it says two officers resigned, blah, 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 but that's it. It doesn't say anything. Okay, we know he's from Bellingham, and we know he's from Bellingham, and we know he was a cop in Washington before he came to Moscow. This is what we know. Now, I want to show you a little bit of trivia, since we got the gangs all here. I got a little piece of trivia for you about Bellingham. All right, did I miss anybody? All right, much love, Tammy, on your special day. I love birthdays. You still here, Tammy, rocking the Casbah. Remember that song, Rock the Casbah? Rock the Casbah. Is it Casbah or Casbah? Oh, Elwing W. Shout out to Elwing. All right, all right. Officers resigned to avoid investigation. That's my thought. That's my thought, Elwing. Because guess what? I mean, he's been a cop a long time. Why would he just give up his job like that? And his family's in Moscow, because the what do you call it? The police report says, the annual report says he moved back to Moscow to be close to his family. So I'm just saying. Okay, which Annie? Oh, Sudie. Shout out to Sudie. Hey, Sudie. Aw, you just in time for Tammy's birthday. Now listen, we got enough evidence to press forward, but we need more. And he was also involved with a murder. He was the officer that wrote the probable cause affidavit for a murder, I think in 2014. But anyway, I wanted to give you a little piece of trivia, and I'm going to put it up Did you know that there is a bar in Bellingham, Washington, where 3 serial killers visited to have a drink? I'm going to put that in the chat. I hope I'm spelling this city right. All right, here's your bit of trivia, true crime trivia. TCT. All right, coming at you. I bet you didn't know. Bellingham has a bar where 3 serial killers stopped to have a drink, and I'm going to show you a little clip of it. This is from Esquire. This is from Esquire. And I'm going to read a little bit of it. All right, here it comes. All right, now it says, man at his best, travel. There's a sign at the waterfront seafood and bar that prohibits loitering. There's another that sternly states the rules about cashing checks. But there's no poster telling customers not to stab, asphyxiate, shoot, or sever heads. This could be an oversight. This was written by Chris Rodell in 2007. And this article is from Esquire. I couldn't get all of the title up there because it just wouldn't fit. But this is let's see, a killer bar. The waterfront is by our reckoning the roughest bar in America. Through an odd and bloody coincidence, the Bellingham, Washington saloon has slung booze to no less than 3 of America's most notorious serial killers: Ted Bundy, the Hillside Strangler, Kenneth Bianchi, and alleged DC sniper John Muhammad. And that's not to mention the occasional small-time felon and local murderer looking for a game of darts. Now, what is that to say about your own town? Oh, no, he's not from there. He's just writing about Bellingham. But did you know that this is a good question for the Kahoot? This is a good question for the Kahoot game, where you answer questions. What small town bar, or what bar had three serial killers there having a drink at different points in time? Obviously, it is the waterfront in Bellingham, which is Rosie's hometown. All right, isn't that weird? Okay, shout out to Miss Potts. Do they? Do they? I would like to know. All right. She said the Chapins live in Bellingham. All right, let me look and see right quick. How weird is that? That 3 different serial killers were at the same bar in Washington. Didn't the triplet sister have the black Ford Explorer in the driveway at King Road with the Washington plate, and the Chapin mom said E and brother shared the Jeep? Okay, I'm thinking the sister's vehicle was in the yard, but was it a black Ford Explorer? I thought it was a Jeep or something like that. Let me look. And whose question was that? Miss Potts. All right, hold on. Let me look at it. because in the video, that's not Ethan's Jeep. It certainly is not. All right, so what was the question? Okay, a black Ford Explorer, that's right. Let me see if I can see it. Yes, I see it. Well, I'll put a picture of it up on the screen. You tell me who it belongs to. If anybody's interested in that article, it's in Esquire. I guess I'll provide a link for it. But right now, I'm going to put up the black SUV. All right, here's the truck. You can see half of it. You should be able to see half of the truck. And it does look like an Explorer. All right. Cindy Ann. All right. Shout out to Cindy Ann P. All right. There's some love. Welcome. Now, can you see the truck? This is Ethan's sister's truck on the left, supposedly. That's what they said in the news articles. In most of them, from what I could see. Red Jeep, Ethan's and Hunter's Black Explorer was Macy's. Both had Washington plates. Okay, I believe, I know this one does. Red Jeep is Ethan's, right? And Hunter's. Okay, that's an Explorer, it looks like. From what you can see, and you can see that Ethan's Jeep is a bright red. The Jeep that's in the video, the body cam, is not. Oh, wow. Hello from Rome. All right. Cindy. Shout out to Italy in the house. All right. All right. Wow. Wow. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome from the United States. All right. Now, where were we? I wanted to discuss also the Black Explorer got a sticker, the back glass, so kind of white decal. Okay, we're still on the black truck then. All right, well, they keep saying that there was a black truck. 90% of the Chapin family resides in Bellingham. Wow. You think they knew each other? How could this guy do something like that and he knew that Ethan was from his hometown? Okay, this is another thing we need to discuss. Let me backtrack. Before we go to the 37-day stay, let me backtrack. Okay. Here's the next question. We can't skip over this. All right, you should see it on your screen. I updated. Now, let's say that this officer is the one that did it. Nobody but him. Let's say he went into a rage. He did it by himself, and regardless what time he did it, he's the one that did it. Let's say hypothetically, this officer is the one that did it. If that's the case, how did it end up being? How did Bethany and Dylan end up alive? Why were they spared? I want to put that in the chat. How is that possible? How is that possible? If this officer did it, he clearly knows the people in that house. He clearly knows Hunter, because Hunter felt right at home around the policeman. He wasn't standing up. He flopped right down on the sofa. He felt right at home. He didn't feel intimidated at all by those officers being there. So if he did it, how come Dylan and Bethany are still with us? Because whoever did it, we still have the same question in our laps. How did Dylan and Bethany survive? I mean, when did Bethany and Dylan move in? When did Dylan and Bethany move in to King Road? Because we saw what was going on August the 16th. How long had they been there? Miss Potts, thank you. I know Washington, but Bellingham sticks out for some reason, and I thought it was them who lived there. Okay? Shout out to Miss Potts. Shout out to Miss Potts. All right, let's see who we have next. Hold on. Okay. Well, the tulip farm is in Mount Vernon, which is only 23 miles from Bellingham, and Ethan worked there, so other makes sense they live close. All right. Shout out to Robin Latham for that good information. You've been holding out on us. All right. Shout out to Robin. Now we're getting some good information. Yes. Do Diem and Bethany even have a car? That's the question. Because they didn't have cars there the night of the crimes. And I've heard that they didn't have a car. At least one of them. Sudi Vaychek brought me here tonight, but I love your videos. Oh, thank you, Sudi. Shout out to Sudi and Cindy and Pete. Thank you, Sudi. And thank you, Cindy, for coming and joining in. Wow. All right, that's Sudi and Cindy. From Rome, wow. That's awesome. All right. Italy in the house. All right. Great big welcome. Great big welcome to you. Just Amber. Yes, Hunter J is the one that came over that morning and spoke to 911. Shout out to Just Amber. Yes, that's what we said. That's what we said. He's everywhere. He was in the front. He was in the front, remember? When the police came, he was in the front. Miss Potts, I can confirm Washington. Oh, okay. Good. We got some confirmation, some verification. I think DM and BF had roles. Tony Grant. Oh, welcome, Tony. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, Tony. I think DM and BF had roles. I do too. I definitely believe Dylan did. I just don't see how she couldn't. I'm just being honest. I just don't see how she couldn't. How can she not have a role? I just, every time I try to write DM off, I can't do it. Every time I try to scratch off the list, she definitely couldn't have did it because of this. If something happens and she's right back on the list. Mainly because of where her bedroom is. 2, she placed herself in the middle of the action. What she claimed was a quadruple murder going on. All right, according to a statement she signed somewhere, she was in the middle of it all. Not only that, but she saw the perpetrator. She didn't check on anybody enough to know that they were mortally wounded. She didn't call police. She didn't call for help. She didn't call anybody else that would call for help, even if she didn't have the guts or the nerves to do it. She didn't do any of that. So the location of her room, the fact that Idaho, from her own account, she was there seeing somebody coming out of there. But it's not a crime to walk through somebody's house with a COVID mask on. So maybe she did see somebody, but it wasn't the killer, and she knows it's not the killer, but she just gave that statement to just keep throwing everybody off. Because I don't think that somebody coming to kill is going to have on a COVID mask. You're going to cover your whole head. You get ready to kill at least 4 people, you're going to cover your whole head. I mean, come on now. You're going to cover your whole head. And then, well, the Tulip Farm is in Mount Vernon. End of July, I believe. Yeah, I'll see. The end of July, I think, is when y'all are saying they got to the school. Because the body cam was August the 16th. They was party hardy already. Let's say everybody moved in August the 1st to the house or the apartment on campus. Or they moved in like the last week of July to get ready for school to open up for the fall semester. Now, you know, August the 16th, school just really getting cranking. And the guys were over there, but they were outside and it was in the middle of the daytime. To me, that's not inappropriate. That's not inappropriate. And then to just walk up the street to somebody else's house and start banging on the door and making demands and stuff and talking to people like you the boss there, like you the landlord. I mean, who does that? You see they have a lookout. You see they got people walking around with book bags. Either you're going to go in there and make a bust or search the place, go get you a warrant and look around in there. I mean, maybe they let that mess go along too long. Maybe not trying to put it on MPD conscience, not putting it on their conscience. But I'm just saying, maybe all this wild partying and not coming to the door for the police, maybe that went on too long. It went on a little too long. Maybe somebody should have went up in there and searched that house at the beginning of the semester before school started, just to keep the mess from jumping off that did. Okay, all these people coming, all these policemen coming to the door. Nobody answering the door when the police come. All that's bad business, man. All of that is what you call bad news. It's just bad news. Dylan moved in. Hold on, let me see. It's because all these players saying they know something, they don't know anything. And 2 girls. Hold on. That's what I said, Steve. Pretty sure DM paid her deposit and bought all the furniture from Ruby's on Venmo end of July. Wow. Shout out to Miss Potts. That's good information. July then. That was DM. Couldn't have been too much further off of that, you know. Okay, who is this? That's right, Ethan worked at the tulip farm, hence the memorial. Right, right. Shout out, Tony. Right, right. That was good. That's good information. That's good information. All right, let's see. How did Dylan and Bethany survive? Because they are the insiders who opened the door and cleaned up and rearranged the crime scene. Shout out to Steve. Because guess what? Somebody had to do it. I mean, we're not idiots to where somebody will tell us 4 people were brutally murdered and we see some of the blood oozing out the house, and then you got people walking around saying it's not blood, it's blood. What else is it? It's blood, man. Come on now, don't sit there and look at some blood dripping down a wall with your own 2 eyes and let somebody that say they're an expert come and say, well, you know, that's not blood for whatever reason. And you sitting there looking at the blood with your own 2 eyes. It's blood. I need somebody to prove to me that it's not blood. I don't need them to prove to me that it is. And somebody just got murdered right there in the room where the blood is coming from. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that that's blood. And then everybody that came out of the house, the officers, the coroner, everybody said when they came out, the smell of blood almost ran them out of there. And there was so much blood and chaos in the place. So don't tell us in that type of condition that something else just happens to be outside Ethan and Xana's window. Don't insult people's intelligence just because you have some type of credential behind your name. Don't mislead people. Because that's just ignorant to tell us to wait and see if that's blood. I mean that's just real bad. Knowing that Xana, they say she fought so hard that her fingers were severed, the fingertip, and you telling me to think that it's something else that leaked out of that room when we saw her mattress when it came out. You know, get out of here telling us stuff like that. Get out of here. Just, you know, give us, if you weren't afraid that internet sleuths are going to crack this case and all the truth is going to come gushing out on you, God forbid, you wouldn't mind telling us the truth, giving us the facts about the case. The reason why we're getting all these untruths or lukewarm truths about the case is because they don't want us to put 2, 3, and 4 together and say and call them out on some stuff. But I mean, it's gonna happen anyway. All right, it's gonna happen. Okay, who was the last shout out? Steve. Hold on. Anti-crime. And what would Beth and Dim's motive be? All right, let me give Steve a shout out, and then I want to answer that one. Shout out to Steve. All right, anti-crimer. Excellent question. I'm going to give you a brain for that. That's a good question right about now. Now listen. Depending on the fact that when we look at the fact that where Dylan's bedroom is, Dylan really didn't have a choice. I don't think Dylan had to have a motive. I think the fact that her room was right there in the middle of everything that happened, and whoever was there knew her, these girls might not have had a choice. They might have had to participate. We don't know whether it was voluntary or not, is what I'm trying to say. Dylan and Bethany might not have had a chance. You see, as soon as everything jumped off, Bethany moved and got back to Nevada, and then look back and didn't want to come back. So we don't know, even if they are the insiders that opened the door, cleaned up and rearranged, that could be true, but they could have been, they don't necessarily have to be willing participants. Were they willing participants? I'm going to put that in the chat. Okay? But were they willing participants? That's the question. Because we know that they live there, they're all up in the house or whatever. They're all up in the house. Cool, cool. But at the same time, whatever jumped off, were they a part of the plan or were they casualties, walking dead, you know? Now, I'm going to give you a clue as to whether DM and BF are actual participants or whether they were unwilling. I'm going to put it in the chat. Here is an indicator of whether they were willing or unwilling participants. Remember those tattoos? Remember when they ran and got those tattoos? Huh? Remember when they got those tattoos? Anyone heard about the other 3 DNA samples at the crime scene? I'm so glad you brought that up. Oh, who is that? Anti-crimer. Shout out. That was my topic and I forgot. Now, first of all, we know from the tattoos that Dylan and Bethany got, that personally, that makes me feel like they were willing participants. Because if they weren't, they would have still been in the shock of it all. Do you agree with that? The fact that they went and got those tattoos so fast afterwards, that makes me feel like, hey, something's not right. Maybe they're not as upset about it as we think. All right? What do you think about that while I change my screen? What do y'all think about that? All right, let's see what we got here. All right, I think I saw something here. Because the girls knew who they were. Maybe the reason. Yeah, I don't know if they got those tattoos. Hold on just a minute. I've always said they made her say those things so they could make up a story about BK in exchange for immunity. Shout out to Robin Latham. I agree. They never called 911. I'll speculate willingly. All right. Shout out to Robin and Miss Potts. I'm leaning towards willingly also. Because of the tattoos, social media, smiling and cackling. You don't do that after something like this. And it happened in your own house. It'll be different if you watch TV and it happened to somebody down the street. But right there where you sleep, I don't think so. Anti-crimer, yes, I heard about the 2 unknown male DNA found in the house near the victims and the 1 unknown male DNA on the glove outside the house. Shout out to American Princess and Anti-crimer. We're going to take up your topic now. All right. It's getting good. Now, Let's see. We want to talk about now the 3 DNA. I'm trying to change my screen. I guess I'll go with the independent because it's quick. Okay, here's one right here. Okay, it's loading in a minute. Now, the big question is, I personally feel like this can have this case thrown out. This point right here, it can make us, it can stop the crime. This could stop the trial. If you think about it, this could stop the trial. If depending on, certain factors. And the first factor that I would have to say is where in the house were the 3 DNA samples found? Because if those DNA samples were found in Maddie's room or Xana's room, then they need to put Brian at least out on bond until they can get this thing straight. For real. They need to get this straight. Because where exactly in the house were the 2 DNA found? Were they also in the rooms with the victims? What? I mean, were they in the room with the victims? Somebody. Let me find my, oh, here it is. All right, here's the article. And this article is in the Independent, all right, coming out of the UK. Brian Kohlberger claims DNA from 3 other men found at scene of Idaho murders. The fact that they were men puts Dylan and Bethany in a precarious situation. All right? I'm going to put that in the chat. 3 other DNA were men. So that places DM and Bethany in a precarious situation. Now, what does that tell you? First of all, they're male. That's alarming. That is alarming because there's male and females coming in and out of the house on these body cams, and different reports saying, and these girls had a lot of friends in the sorority and stuff, but all the DNA they found was male. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you why it took them so long to clean up. This is speculation, but I'm going to tell y'all what took them so long and why they had to do it like that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. All right? The reason it took them so long is because they were not just cleaning up blood spatter. They had to wipe up everything because they didn't know where their DNA was all over the house. They had to wipe everything. They realized just cleaning up the blood wasn't enough. They had to go through that house and clean all of it. That's why they only found the 3 male DNA in that whole house, because when they were covering it up, they wiped down the whole house. Because the people involved didn't want nobody that knew about it or involved wanted their fingerprint in the wrong place. Because we know Dylan and Bethany have been in Maddie's room. We know Dylan and Bethany have been in Xana's room. So they had to wipe down everything. Not just clean up blood. Because nobody could say where their prints were in the rest of the house. Nobody could say. We're supposed to have a whole garbage bag full of DNA profiles from a party house. But once they heard there was a murder, the people that knew they'd been in that house was like, hey, y'all better wipe that down. Because you're not going to get me involved in a quadruple murder. Okay? People that knew they had been in that house were in there probably with some Kleenex or some Clorox wipes, making sure that their fingerprint wasn't in there. Hey, we're trying to graduate. We can't tell our parents we're getting charged with a quadruple murder. You better get our fingerprints up out of there. I know if they call me and say, hey, we got 4 people deceased in here, they've been stabbed, and what should we do? The first thing I would say is, could you please wipe my fingerprints out of your house? Matter of fact, I'll come over there and do it myself, because I don't need these problems. Okay? I'll come over there and act like I'm coming to help, but what I'm coming to do is make sure any place I usually sit, or anywhere in that kitchen I've been, or if I was just over there and had a cup, I'm getting ready to go get it. Because I don't want my fingerprint nowhere involved in this. I can't even fathom telling my parents that I'm involved in a murder investigation. Are you mad? So a lot of the wiping up was for people that had nothing to do with the crime, but once they heard it went down, they realized that their DNA is in that house. All right. Well, of course, they were close to the bodies. They'd still be there if they tested all DNA in that house. Come on. All right. Shout out, Robin. All right. All right. It depends. They had a long time to clean up, Robin. Yes, it said it was found by the deceased. Please don't say the DNA was found by the deceased. Please don't say that, Robin. Please don't tell me that. Please tell me you're joking. Please tell me it wasn't. For it to be mentioned, it must have been close, because they know how many people were in the house all the time. Yeah, who's Willow in the house? Oh, shout out to Willow. That's right. Shout out to Willow. I'm telling you, if somebody called me and they hadn't called the police yet, and they talking about it's 4 bodies in here, and I know I've been over there drinking beer, or I know I've been over there trying on earrings in one of these girls' room or something like that, I would want them to wipe my DNA up, or I would do it myself. If I was in the house, if I came over there to look, and everybody else was in there looking, I would be wiping wherever I sat. I'm just telling you the truth. I would be in there with some gloves on myself, wiping anywhere I thought I sat in that house with some bleach. Yeah, nobody was cleaning in the kitchen because nobody cleaned the kitchen. I guess nobody's DNA was in there. No, it was said by the defense in their documents before the last court date. Shout out to American Princess. Tony Grant. Not only did the kitchen look a hot mess, but there was a gray bucket in that kitchen when they first showed up. All right, shout out to Tony. Tammy Hammond. I heard that also. Robin. Okay, where am I? The photos, it looks like they had breakfast and everything. It was frying pans and coffee and eggs. Could be. Could be they had breakfast and, the dishes were just left over or whatever. It didn't necessarily have to look like that all the time. Crime scene techs must know likely areas DNA would be when it's in the wrong place. In suspicious areas, the DNA near the bodies was significant. So you saying, okay, and who said that? Audrey Kate. Shout out to Audrey. All right. Are you saying that they only tested places like close to the body? Are you saying they didn't go and check the living room, coffee stand, or whatever in the living room TV, the TV knob and stuff? Because they sure did find it. They sure did find what they were looking for close to the bodies, didn't they? All right, Audrey. I guess I have to give you a brain because I think your observation went over well. Maybe I didn't give enough. Okay, hold on. All right, here's your brain, Audrey. Because they sure did find the 3 that they needed to find, didn't they? And what for them to be male? And then for them not to mention them in the first PCA, that ought to be criminal right there. To allow everybody to think that the only DNA in that house was Brian Kohlberger's. Miss Potts, the way forensics looks for DNA is starting at the body and working outward. The 2 found where victims were located has to be very close to the bodies. All right, another brain, and they do work. Come to think of it, I did see that they do work from the body outwards. So 9 times out of 10, the fingerprint or the DNA probably was on the light switch or some part of the door that they touched leaving in or out. Most likely. Tammy Hammond, they had a big party the night before. They had the football game that night. So it's probably just, all right, Deb Tudoro, cover up. Shout out to Deb Tudoro and welcome. Welcome, Deb. Okay, let me see. Let me get this on here right. Deb Tudoro. All right. Nothing in the car. Nothing in the car, Deb. Nothing in the car. Isn't that insane? All right. Willow. It was said by another creator who sent the info to police that broke the Lori Vallow case that the killer ate an apple, put it in the garbage disposal, but thought better of it and took it back out. Wow, wow, wow. There was nothing in the car. Shout out to Just Amber. There was nothing in the car, which we already knew before they even pulled it in. This DNA, light switches, door handles, power switches, Marion M. Shout out to Marion. That's where I would think. That's how they convicted Barney, what's his name? The one that they said killed his parents in New York. There was blood stain on the light switch, and he said he hadn't touched anything. That's how he ended up being convicted. And the light switch in the garage, the one he said he did touch, didn't have any blood on it. Yeah. They let him out eventually, but they did lock him up. All right, shout out to Marion. Welcome, Marion. Well, evidently MPD could care less how many other DNA samples were in there. Yeah, that's true. Shout out to you, Robin, because guess what? They didn't even mention it in the PCA until months later. And I mean, I just don't understand how they get to do this stuff. Be honest. I can't tell you. I can't explain it. Because I know for a fact that certain things you're supposed to do at a crime scene, like show up immediately. We could start right there. Show up immediately. You don't go 4 hours. You only have 48 hours to really catch people in their mess, like trying to hide evidence and making phone calls they shouldn't make. And you catch people doing all kinds of stuff in the first 48 that help you solve the crime. You let 4 hours go past. I mean, what could you possibly be doing before you come as a detective? They call you on your cell phone, your beeper, or whatever. This is 2023. They can find you. And so you know, unless you are out in a prairie somewhere without your phone, there's no reason why you didn't answer before time. And if you were on duty, that makes it even worse. And then you're not supposed to have all those people in that house. And then the dispatcher should have asked how many people were injured. How long has this person been unconscious? To where they have to do some examination, the person on the 911 call. Usually the dispatcher says the person breathing. Check their pulse. Try to do this. Try to do that. And they have them there working with the body. It's not some in and out where you just stuck your hand in the door and felt somebody's neck and then walked away with the phone saying, oh, this person won't say anything. They're unconscious. It's more than that. The dispatcher will always try to get the person on the phone to find some sign of life. Always. Always. Oh, we got a member. Deb Tutoro, welcome. All right, we got a new member. You guys, welcome Deb Tutoro to the group. All right. Welcome, Deb. All right, let me find some party favors. I'll give it some hearts, and I'll send some up. Okay. So good to have you. Welcome. Now, there's another person saying the same thing. This DNA found far away from the body, but rather very close to them. You know, I don't understand why they won't throw this case out. Because you got, well, they can't throw it out. I guess they're saying they're putting the 3 DNA with Kohlberger's. Is that what's going on? Instead of saying, well, this guy probably was set up. They saying that he knows who the other 3 DNA belong to. I wonder where the discarded, let's see. Hey, did you guys give Deb a warm welcome? Let me see. Did you all give Deb? Love you too, Marion. I see you. I see you. Love you too, Marion. Let me find my greasy face for this one. Love you too. Well, hold on, let me get it right. I lost my train of thought. All right. Three unknown male DNA plus BNA plus BK sheath DNA equal 4 IgG trees that should have been done, not one. Shout out to Miss Potts. Okay, I was looking to see, did somebody say welcome to Deb? Did did we did we say welcome to Deb Tudoro? I was looking in the chat to see. Elwing W. Right, one heck of an internship. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. Those kids were laying there at least 16 hours before the health professional came to their aid to pronounce. That's inexcusable. Shout out to Audrey Cakes, I agree. That breaks my heart to even think that those kids were just laying there like that in that condition while they become a spectacle, first of all, and then somebody finally decide that they need to get some body bags and show these people's kids some respect. That's a long time. 6 or 7 hours is a long time. It's very odd. It's very odd, Deb. I said welcome to Deb, Miss Potts. Okay. I see it now. I see it now. We have to show some welcome, show some love. Everybody's welcome. Thank you very much, everybody. BK is getting the education of his life in criminal justice. Shout out to L. Wing. You right, L. Wing. He's gonna be a doctor for real. No faking. After this. Willow, she said there was a man with red hair and that Charles Reed Walter guy has red hair and he was arrested shortly after for fentanyl possession. Is being said that Xana said the name Charlie. Shout out to Willow. Oh my God. Willie. Shout out to Willow. Does anybody have anything to say on that about the red hair and Charles Reed? Did anybody got any information on that? What Willow's talking about? One accessory, one cleared the coast for the slaughter. Wow. Welcome, IRICX. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think if the DNA was close to the bodies, this is the DNA that was left after all is said and done. This is who was left. And so if this is who was left, why didn't they wipe that up? Why the DNA they did find, was that a slip up? Why were they able to get these people's DNA? And then the third person, they didn't leave their DNA inside, but it was outside in a glove, but not inside the house. And Nancy Grace was saying, she doesn't think that has anything to do with it. She's not qualified to make that statement. Nobody is. We can't say whether the glove outside with the DNA is related to the crime or not. You can't just dismiss that because it's a problem for you. You can't say, I don't think that has anything to do with it. What? It was on the property. And there's a male DNA at that. How can you say you don't think it has anything? How can you just throw a Hail Mary and say, throw that out? I don't think it has anything to do with anything. Really? Really? I mean, come on. I think right now, if I was a prosecution and I had all that DNA evidence from guys, guys came in and did this and left. Multiple guys. If I were the prosecutor, I would think that either this guy Brian was in there helping do the killing, or he was a driver and they set him up with the sheep. Because the fact that there were other people present, that makes the possibility of a sheep being planted even more plausible. If there was a 15% chance that somebody planted a knife sheath with Brian's DNA on it, the fact that there were at least 2 other people right there during the crime leaving DNA. So now the possibility that somebody planted the DNA is up to about 65%. Because both of the guys that were in there and the one that left the glove, all of them had a motive to set one of the other people that's with them up. Tell us the truth. Ain't that right, Willow? Shout out to Willow. Isn't that the truth? Just tell us the truth. We can't solve a crime and you telling us stuff that's not true, and we're using that as part of our theory. We have to have the truth to come out with the truth. Ann Taylor working on it, T. Motions to suppress and dismiss incoming, in my opinion. I agree, Miss Potts. I really do. I mean, it comes a time when you got to stop playing so much because there are lives in the balance. And even though you claim you got this piece of evidence here, and that's shaky as all get out, because somebody, put together a tree to match it. I mean, come on, man. That's a stretch to make people believe that. I don't know who Charlie is either, Marion. I'm trying to figure that out myself. And those people are free. Exactly, Tony. Who is Charlie? I agree. Those kids were laying there. Yeah, we got that. All right. Welcome, Deb. And happy birthday, Tammy. All right. So is Miss Potts, is the leaked video true even though it was stolen, etc., or it's not? I'm confused after watching Sleuthy's video. All right. Shout out to Robin. I'm not sure what y'all are talking about. I'll give the shout out. All right. JS is out of the country, right? Jack Showalter, you right. Now I'm going to tell y'all, if they only found 3 sources of DNA, somebody had to be doing some serious wiping and cleaning up in there. Serious. I'm not even talking about for the blood. I'm talking about the fact that they only found 2 DNA in there and 1 in a glove outside. I mean, that's not a lot. We're talking about a 3-story home. How did you only find 2? And people are constantly in and out. It just makes me feel like something is not right. Because they were cleaning up there. They were cleaning up, wiping up, and it wasn't just them. Because whoever was over there all the time like Hunter. Hunter had a good reason when he found out what happened to get over there and wipe his fingerprints off of that house. He had a good reason to do it. Because if you look, everywhere you look, there's Hunter. He's at the front door with the cops. He's at the back door with the cops. He's calling the cops, 911. Hunter is knee deep in that address. Okay, I understand he was Ethan's friend. But evidently whoever came in didn't care about that. Teach they likely found lots of DNA and only focused on the DNA found closest to the victims. Okay, shout out to Robin, or who said that? Miss Potts. But can they do that though? Aren't they supposed to process the entire scene? 4 people lost their lives. 4 people. You don't get to do a half job. 4 people lost their lives. Cindy Abbott Titdor, welcome. Okay, we got another Cindy. It's Cindy night. Welcome, Cindy Abbott Titdor, 2655. It's Cindy night. All right, much love, Cindy, and welcome. I'll go back and try to catch your comment. All right. Now let's see. Let's go back to what she said. It is alleged they had a huge party there at the house that very Friday night, over 100 attendees. You know what, Cindy? It's no telling how many people were at that house at one given time. I'm saying after all is said and done, it's no telling. Because guess what? It's so many people coming in and out of the front and the back door. It might only be 13 people in there, and then in an hour there's 20. And then a couple of them leave. So by the end of the night, it could have been more than 100 people that actually came through. And you only found two DNA outside of the sheaths? That just doesn't sound right to me. It just does not sound right to me. And so they had to be in there wiping the walls, wiping the staircase, going up to the 3rd floor, wiping. Because they had to wipe. And then another reason we know they had to wipe is the footprint and the latent footprint. Somebody had to use amino black to identify the footprint in front of Dylan's door. So if they had to use amino black, that lets you know it wasn't visible to the eye. Somebody had tried to clean that up. The latent footprint. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Let me find it right quick. Okay. We know there was a latent shoe print at 1122 King Road. I see some YouTube all right, look at this. In Newsweek, this is something you haven't heard on the subject of footprints. Because guess what? The footprints that they found in front of Dylan's door, they had to use amino black for that. So that means somebody tried to clean up those footprints and they didn't get it all up. I mean, that's such a busy part of the house. it probably was hard for them to, just get some single strands or whatever you call it. It was probably hard. But I mean, this is something I really had not heard before about strange footprints in December at somebody's house close to the crime scene. Now, what have you heard about this? This was posted December the 2nd. And I'm gonna have to read it to you. I'm gonna have to read it to you. It should be coming on your screen right about now. All right, this is Newsweek. It says, this was written by Matthew and Pelly on December the 2nd now. A college student recently reported strange footprints near her home, which is less than a mile away from the residence where 4 University of Idaho students were fatally stabbed last month. The Moscow Police Department's press log says a 911 call was made Wednesday by a student to report a suspicious person or circumstance at a residence on Sweet Avenue, which is not far from the 1122 King Road residence where Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Morgan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Carnota were found dead. Footsteps in the snow up to her back patio weren't there when she left for class at 1300, the report said. Now let me put that up there, the whole thing. This is Newsweek. Okay, so on the 2nd, they had somebody possibly up to no good in the same neighborhood. Let me get some of this off of here. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of the article up here. I thought I was. Where is the other part of it? Is this it? Yeah. Here's the rest of it. This is a possibility that this same officer was up to no good in the same neighborhood. That's my feeling. That it's somebody that walks the beat in that same area and knows these students when they come and when they go. All right, what do you think about this one? All right. I don't think one person did this. Deb Tudorow. No one DM's age would comment clad in black. That's right. Tammy Hammond, shout out. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a brain. No college student or somebody young like that would be talking about somebody that's clad in something. I agree. I really agree with that. All right, Marion, I agree, was not one person. Stephanie, Creepy Town, brainwashed people, it seems. All right, defense confirmed our conspiracy of the planet sheep. They said it was placed. Shout out to Miss Potts, Marilyn, and Stephanie. All right. Still, what do y'all think about this one? Where the girl said that there were footsteps in the snow coming up to her house and they weren't there when she left for class. And this was on December 2nd. Do you think it was Brian Koberger or do you think it was somebody else? Possibly this officer. Who was it? Brian Koberger or the officer? Which one was it? Was it Koberger or was it the officer? It's no use in us getting wrapped up in whose car it was and what he was driving and whose car did this and that, because the killers could have walked to the house. All right, this place, we got people walking all over that campus. We got people walking all over that area. Everything was close by. Everybody was close by everybody. We had people on foot with beer, so they had to be somewhere close that you could buy beer on foot. So I'm just saying, it could be they could have walked to the house and left, and now everybody's looking for a car because somebody from the gas station sent a picture of a car speeding away from the gas station. They had nothing to do with King Road, and then all of a sudden everybody's looking for a white car. I mean, there might not even be a car involved. Brian Koberger's car was clean. So if he's guilty, why are we even worried about who's driving a white car? They said it was Brian Koberger's Elantra on these surveillance tapes and on the phone pings, and his car is clean. So the only way we can keep on trying to convict Brian Koberger is to say that he walked from somewhere because his car is clean. It's no use in looking for a car if the person you got in custody didn't have any evidence in his car. So what do you keep putting these pictures up of the stock photo of his car for? And there's nothing in there. Okay? Start getting the people used to the idea that maybe the perp or the perpetrators walked. Because they could have come from the woods. They could have come from Williamton Drive and cut through those apartments and stuff. There was so many ways to get there on foot. And for it to be almost a dead end over there, like a cul-de-sac or whatever you call it, where it comes to a dead end, there's no way to get out. You got to come out the way you came. I mean, who wants to get caught up in that? Committing a murder. And you got to drive in somewhere. It's only one way in and one way out in the vehicle. Wouldn't you pass on that and just park on another street rather than have your car going in and out of there? And you know there's only one way in and one way out. Who would do that? Who would do that? And how did they get in the house? Because these officers they had a hard time even getting somebody to come to the door. Let's more get inside the house. So how is it that the door was so unlocked? So how is it that the door was so conveniently unlocked on November the 13th? But as early as August the 16th, everybody was trained to ignore the police and not to even go to the door. Let's more have the door unlocked where somebody could just walk in. They had a lookout at the window. So these are not the type of people that just had a door open where anybody could come in the wee hours of the morning. If it was that safe, they wouldn't have needed a lookout. That video tells us a lot about King Road. It tells us a lot about the people on the inside. It tells us a lot. And it shows us that we have at least one officer that was unstable and could have backtracked. Can't call it a traffic stop. that one neighborhood canvas where he's taking a picture of her ID could have been the beginning of some type of obsessive, what is exactly what they tried to pin on Brian. I mean, Brian is looking up at the camera like he's got autism, or some people say spectrum or whatever. And we got to believe he's this big ninja killer. But here we have a probably over 6-foot officer banging on the door like he's the landlord, taking pictures of people's ID. He's acting obsessive, trying to pretend like he's never been to the house, being deceitful on the body cam. We got all this in one person. But then we got this guy over here whose car is clean. Doesn't look like his nerves can really take being around a bunch of blood and gore. It doesn't look like Brian Kohlberger's nerves can take that. Just sitting in court like that, you know. He's chewing on his jaw, pressing down on his teeth. You know, a bunch of nervous gestures, trying to sit there still and look serious and important. He don't want to give away nothing like he's weak. But you can tell he can't take much like that. I mean, he was getting high on heroin for a reason. A lot of people that get a blast sit there smoking crack, or a lot of people shooting up heroin or whatever they're doing. They're trying to escape their everyday reality. It's too much for them. The everyday reality is wearing them out, and they just check out every once in a while because they can't take it full time. So here you have a person that was checking out with heroin, and you want to tell me that his nerves can withstand walking through a house, a bunch of detritus, where he has just decimated 4 people and basically just mauled them like animals. And you mean to tell me he can take all that, but he can't take the vicissitudes of life? As a young person, he wasn't even paying bills yet good, and all of a sudden the pressures of life, he's out here trying to shoot up and be in another reality all of the time. So those things don't match, because a person that, you know, resort to self-medicating with drugs, they self-medicate because they can't take the pain of life, psychological pain, emotional pain. It's not just romantic pain that causes people to do things. Psychological pain might not have anything to do with a relationship, but it hurts just as bad as somebody stabbing you with a knife. We have to think about the psychological aspect of this. Yeah, drugs could be involved there. Be honest, it could. The notebook probably contained his log of buyers. Well, I just don't see. Shout out to Willow and Deb and Elwing. Y'all are really engaging in the conversation. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, I got Willow, Deb, and Elwing. We'll take care of them first, and then we'll see who else has dived in here with some good ideas, some real strong ideas. Because I'm just saying it how I see it. You know, you can't just like on the Tupac movie, you can't just pick somebody off the street you think nobody would really care about, or somebody that doesn't know the street too good, or somebody that's got a lot to lose, or whatever nothing you think they don't have, whatever your rationale was. You can't just pick somebody and put it and just sit up there and pin something on them. The cop also said, I tried the front door first, even though he didn't. All he did was say, send somebody to the door. He told a lookout that as soon as he came around the corner, that lets us know that he's been there before. Far Canal, wow. Shout out to Far Canal. Welcome. I'm just saying, why would somebody meet that's looking for a very how should I say it? He's that's looking for a lifestyle, a corporate lifestyle, where he's not gonna have to do much, but probably be at a computer all day and get paid big bucks. This is where Brian Koberger was headed before all of this. Brian Koberger was headed towards a cushy job, cloud forensics, technology, networking, in an office with other people doing the same thing, in his own office, air conditioned, doing absolutely nothing but on a computer all day, go to lunch, go to meetings, have parties, take vacation days. This is what he this is what he was headed for. No, that they were. I don't believe they were gonna fire Brian Koberger until he became a suspect. No matter what kind of complaining and paper shuffling they were doing, they said when they investigated those girls, saying he was rough with them or whatever, they found there was nothing to substantiate their claims. I don't even believe that Brian Koberger would get a would have been fired unless he became a suspect. That's when I believe the university said, "Hey, we got to sever ties with this guy." That's what I believe. An LLC for Canal. And yes, they were renting. I think the rent was like $2,100. And I guess they split that. All right. Shout out to Kathy Jean. Showalter said he got kicked out of the bar. Yet he's talking to Adam and the bar owner in the club. Pick. Who is that? Kathy. Shout out to Kathy Jean. Willow. I just don't think Brian did this. If I am proven wrong by evidence, then so be it. But it makes absolutely no sense that he would do it. He was on his way to a successful life. I agree, Willow. Shout out to Willow. I agree. I mean, I'm just saying this guy does not look like he had worked so hard to get where he was. His family wasn't rich. And they probably sacrificed a lot to help him get over there. And for him to get over there and mess that up and let his parents down, after all the foolishness he pulled as a child, I just don't see it. I think he was very ambitious and he was headed to the top in what he was doing. He might be socially awkward, but that was another reason he was so driven. He was like, "Hey, I don't have any friends. I might as well try to, compete in the job arena. I don't have any friends. Ain't nobody calling me to get drunk to where I can't make it to work the next day. I might as well put all my energy into this." I've halfway been there myself, especially during my master's degree. When I was on the master's program, I've had those kind of days where I felt like I don't even have enough people to, all this love and affection I have to give to friends and people, I don't have enough people to give it to. So I might as well take all this energy and put it into my studies. And that's what I did. For my master's program, that's what I did. And so I understand on that point, it hasn't been actively listed for rent since 2020. Was it private? That's Far Canal. Shout out to Far Canal. Well, that house has a terrible history, Far Canal. Okay, the president of the university used to live there when he was a little boy. And the guys that rent the place, I'm hearing that they had some link with pornography, possibly trafficking, OnlyFans, all kinds of stuff that has to do with sex and young people. The owners, this is what I'm hearing now. This is all speculation. I'm not putting anybody out there saying this is definitely true because I don't have the evidence to prove that myself. I've heard it so many times from different places until I'm casually saying that's the word on the street. But I'm not saying that that's true. 100% true. I'm saying this is what this is what I'm reading. This is what I'm reading. That house has a terrible history. As a matter of fact, one live we did numerology. Remember that? Where we were coming up with how all of these numbers to that house in the case means something. 1122. And then they did it on the 13th. All right. And then somebody said, the police said Brian passed by 12 times. That's a 1 and a 2. We didn't have that. Remember we did the numerology? And we were saying how 1, 2, and 3 have strong themes in this case. And then somebody added, I think yesterday, that Koberger drove by 12 times. I'm going to put that in the chat because we came up with some good numerology. We came up with sequences and everything else, but nobody said that one. All right, we're adding this to our numerology watch. All right. Now, right now, I have to admit that we don't have enough information on Rosie to make a decision other than the fact that he qualifies. He definitely qualifies as a perpetrator. Officer Rosie definitely qualifies. And the fact that he just disappeared from view is very super suspicious. Oh, Laura Smith in the house. Shout out to Laura Smith. I told you I really believe there's tunnels under that house, and the president of the university would definitely know because almost every university has tunnels under it too. We're back on the tunnels. Shout out Laura. I keep hearing about the tunnels too. Imagine the paper BK can write for his master straight from the inside. From his PhD, he already has his master's. Shout out to Kathy Jean. I said something to that effect in my video, A Gift to Latah County. Check out my video, A Gift to Koberger Gift to Latah County. I think it's becoming relevant again. And that's Kathy Jean. Shout out to Kathy Jean. All right, let's see. His trial, hold on. His trial date was 22/11. Let's see, October. Is it October 22 or November 22? I know the 22 is legit. Marion. Shout out to Marion. Okay, we got the trial. The trial date was on the 22nd. I'm not sure if it was November or October, but I know that it was on the 22nd. It is on the 22nd, except for the stay. Okay, we do need to talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Marion. Yes, the Demetria, I did right off the bat, but when this first started in Idaho, came up as targeted. That's Laura Smith. Deb Tudoro, that whole town is spooky. Shout out to Renee. Renee Phillips. All right. Okay. Much love to you guys. Now, Cindy Abbott, Laura Smith. We're supposed to think BK was too smart to leave any DNA anywhere but one little minuscule dot on a sheet. You can have your cake. You can't have your cake and eat it both. That's right, Cindy. Shout out to Cindy Abbott. That's right. You can't say, I'm going to tell you another piece of irony. You're right, Cindy. You can't say that you're frozen in fear and then turn around and say you went to sleep and you didn't call police. You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't say you were frozen in fear, but you didn't go check on your roommates and you didn't call police. You can't do that. You can't do that. How about that for double standard? Okay, Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie Elazar. When is the trial? Did the date change? No, they have a stay, a 37-day stay that's going to affect that. Shout out to Stephanie. Remember they have a trial date. Remember they're gonna have a trial. They got a trial date for October the 22nd, but they have a stay for 37 days. Now let me see, what did I do with that on the stay? I had a little clip for that. Oh, here it is. All right, here it is. All right, this is Judge. Okay, let me move this so we can see Tammy's birthday, Snoopy. Okay, this is Judge. He granted Koberger extra time, and this guy really seems very grounded. Very, very, very grounded. I just feel like he really has a reason, for everything he does. I'm going to put that in the chat. And the way they did it, it's like you could tell Ann Taylor really knows the law, because they got to stay from Judge, but they still had a right to the speedy trial. I strongly believe there is something being hidden on the left side of the house. Why the left side, Far Canal? No, it didn't, Stephanie. It's just that they have 37 extra days without sacrificing right, the speedy trial, if they need to. Shout out to Robin and Far Canal. That's right. And it's really masterful the way that they're doing that, because it just shows just how familiar, how efficient Ann is, I think, with the law, Miss Taylor. I just think it shows her level of efficiency. And for the judge to grant the stay speaks volumes about his disposition on the case. It's like he's not going to be responsible for convicting somebody and the jury is not sure. That's what it appears to be, to me. Judge is very, very grounded, very professional. He knows the law. BK has grace with Ann Taylor and Judge. That's exactly what I was trying to say, Elwing W. Shout out to Elwing. That's exactly. You can see he's got grace. Favor, that's what we call it. He's got favor. He's got grace with the judge, because they know something, too much of this doesn't add up for them to try to convict this guy. Whether he did it or not, this is just not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. And so they're being very careful. Okay, if you say this is the guy, you need to prove that. And these shenanigans, What was the problem with the grand jury? Why even bring the grand jury? The preliminary, all the stuff you demanding from the defense, you would have gotten it at the preliminary hearing. You would have heard everything they got to give at the preliminary hearing. And you fast forwarded past the preliminary hearing because you didn't want it. And now you begging for the information you would have got in the first place. Only thing different, you got an indictment. Maybe you deserve it, maybe you don't. I think that Judge is very grounded. And I think that we can expect him to make some critical calls in this case, like this one, that are going to make sure that the Kohlbergers don't just start writing their son off as gone, you know, because they piled it on so thick. Yes, they do hide the left side of I was asking in my last video, how did he know to come up the right side of the house? He was asking the cop, which, are we going to this one down here? Playing dumb, like he didn't know where they were headed, when really they were going for him anyway. And then on top of that, it's just a matter of time before the truth starts popping out anyway. Because those kids that heard about what happened on the grapevine before they called the police, they wanted to make sure they didn't have fingerprints in that house. Hard Truth has a still on one vid that shows it boarded up at Bethany's room. Oh, okay. You know which one it is. Do you know which one it is, Farcanel? Hard Truth is rock. Shout out Marion M. Shout out to Marion. Woo! Shout out to Marion and much love. Much love. Thank you. Thank you. Might be another rabbit hole. Could be. Could be. Has anyone found out why Sigma Chi president used to be cool with Xana until Ethan showed up? Oh, now you throwing something new out there. We didn't even know about that. Shout out to RS. RX. That's what I guess I'll call you. That's crazy. And then that's just crazy. Because guess what? Who was the Sigma Chi president at the time? Thanks for the date and time. I will be back. Thank you so much for stopping by, Cindy Abbott Titdor. We are so glad that you came and communed with us. Wasn't too long ago. All right. Who get the brain? Stephanie. Oh, yeah. What? Let me see. Who came up with it? Who came up with it? All right, y'all. It's 11:10. We're headed for our last topic. I think we have a little bit of information on Judge, but I'm not sure. And so we're going to run this until 11:30. I think we have one more topic. Let me check my... Hold on. Because Judge is a blessing, a breath of fresh air in a case where it seems like everybody was just throwing a knife at that young man. From day one, I mean, they have Mr. G on TV saying he stalked the girls and he followed them and hunted them down and all this stuff. And he has no idea whether that guy did that or not. None whatsoever. Judge is very, very, very fair. He's very fair. So far. and he seemed disinterested in the foolishness, which I agree. But I feel like Officer Rosie, he should have been investigated, because this girl is saying somebody was coming up her steps to her house before she, after she went to class, and they weren't there before. And I'm just saying, people are reporting stuff and nobody's paying attention to it because they got everybody blinded with this Brian Koberger stuff. So we got a lot going on in Pullman. We got stuff going on in Bellingham. It's just the same, it's just the same, pretty much the same old role, the same old role. But Judge is very appropriate. Yep, Mr. G has gone some background. What do you mean by that, Deb? Mr. G has gone some background. What you mean by that? Steve got his own agenda. Steve Neek speaks. Oh, yeah. You talking about the Hex and stuff and making all these guest appearances all over the place? Hey, maybe they need the money. I'm just be honest with you. And this might not sound very good, but I'm just telling the truth. Maybe they need the money for all of these different appearances and stuff. Maybe they need it. Maybe they need the money and the attention. Maybe the Gonsalves need both. Wow, look at that. AF, is this the weirdest case you ever saw? $20 sticker, wow. You a high roller, AF. I didn't know you were that high of a roller. You're a high roller. Thank you so much. Where's my button? Let me send you some love. I appreciate that. Wow. Thank you. We're getting ready to try to make it. We almost made it to our first Google AdSense check. Remember, you don't start ads until you get 1,000 subscribers. And so the channel is supposed to receive their first Google AdSense check today. Not today, this month. I think the last week of the month or something. But we made it. We made it, honey. We made it. AF, I appreciate you. We made it. I know y'all tired of Veed and all that, but you put up with it. I love you for that. I thank you. It's going to get better. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because for the first couple of months, we had the same people carrying the channel, Oh my God. Willow, $49.99 sticker. I can't believe it. Wow. I'm speechless. I can't believe it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Look at all this love. Wow. I know my moderators are like, wow, we got some support tonight. They carry so much. Thank you. Willow, thank you. AF, thank you. Yay to AF and Willow for carrying us tonight. Thank you. That is so awesome. I thank you so much. All right. That's right, Renee. That's right. Shout out to RG Cakes, Renee. Thank you for helping me show love back to Willow and AF. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you too. I love you all too. Y'all are the best. I'm telling you. Because it gets rough sometimes, but we still going. We still going. We still got the channel and we're still growing. That's right. Love you. I love you too, Audrey Cakes. We still going. You know? We we're still in the race. All right. And we got two high rollers in here tonight. Yeah, Robin. I love you too, Robin. You carried it for you carried me for a good while, Robin. I'm not ashamed to say it. Robin has looked out. She been shopping in the merch shop. She brought the first merchandise, the apron, and I'm just thankful to everybody. Everybody that's been here from the beginning. Thank you, Willow and AF. Thank you. We had a new member tonight. Let me see. Everything. It's that's great. That's great. I thank you. I'm shocked. Love MJ too. I didn't know you were in here. Did you see on Facebook Moscow Police Department page looking for three guys and they were showing a white car there looking for two Mark 6 post, doesn't say why though. Shout out to Love MJ too. I didn't even see you in here. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just can't believe it. This is great. We're gonna have another good week then. We get ready to get down, get down. So when's the thing on YouTube to tell me about methamphetamines? They are terrible, Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll. Shout out to Tony. I'm not sure what you talking about, but shout out to you anyway. Thank you for everybody that comes on and participate in the chat, even if you don't have or don't feel the need to give. Just showing up and speaking is great. Keeping a group going so that we can communicate with each other is just awesome. I'm just really happy now. All right. Now, let's see where are we in our discussion? Because we have a suspect, we don't have any evidence on him other than him being the type to be a stalker. And other than the fact that he's not an officer anymore in Moscow, something had to happen. Something had to happen for him not to be a policeman anymore. Just so quickly after these things happen. And we haven't heard a peep about it. None of it about Rosie is public. You can't hardly find anything about him except for stuff in 2014. So, I mean, we have to find the truth. We have to find the truth. And let's see. December the 30th. I would like to see that where they're asking about the three guys. Who posted that? Can someone please explain to me how a house can get donated while it's an active crime scene? Anybody? Okay. Shout out to Robin. She said it wasn't legal for them to turn their house over to the university. What do y'all say? Yay, nay, yay, yay, yay? What you say to that? Anybody? What you say to that? I still wonder about what did you tell Adam? All right. Who is this? Okay, that's Deb. I still wonder about Adam. Adam's fingers are dirty. Marion M. Let's see. Go see sneak peeks for info on Adam and Grub Truck Cops. I think I saw some of that. Sneak peeks. That was supposed to be Maddie looks very pleased, swinging her arms. She was happy for whatever she had said. Tony Grant. Yeah. All right. Shout out to Deb, Marion, and Tony. All right. I agree, Renee. Everyone knew, but no one single person will speak. I don't care what it would take. I'd move away and go into hiding to reveal the truth of this horrible town and the crime committed. Right. Go, okay, shout out to Willow because you right. I would have left. I mean, it's such a big mess and such a tragedy until I wouldn't want to be associated with it at all, period. Just like I said, whoever has been in that house just casually partying, soon as they heard what happened, they wanted their fingerprints out of that house. Okay, they could think of a couple things they touched and where they sat, and that probably would have been their first concern. Man, I've been in that house, I've been in that kitchen, I've been in that bathroom. You know, I ran my arm up the wall going up those stairs. And so let me wipe this off or whatever. That would have been my thought too. That would have been my thought too. I'm just being honest. Because how can you, somebody is saying that, just think about it. Just think of somebody's house you've been over this week. And if you haven't been over to someone's personal home this week, think of a store that you went to this week just one time. And think about somebody calling you saying there was a quadruple murder there. And you know you've been in there touching all over stuff. Wouldn't that make you nervous? Even though you had nothing to do with the crime, you know you weren't there. You might have a black truck or a white car, or you might not. But you know you weren't there. But yet and still, this is a place you've been a few times, touching all over stuff. Do you really want to? I mean, a business, anybody could go in a business. It's supposed to have a lot of different DNA. But not somebody's house. Not somebody's house. So we got big problems. We still have big problems with the PCA. We've been having problems. We're still having problems. And the number one suspect is like pulling teeth to get information on him. Just Amber. Anyone who goes to Corner Club to ask questions gets treated rudely and kicked out. Just so happens that's where Adam worked. All right, shout out to Just Amber. All right, so where are we? What have we accomplished tonight? We have a good suspect with Rosie. We just need to keep working on him. All right, we got a lot of stuff going. We got a lot of stuff going as far as who could have done it other than Brian Koberger. So the next time we meet, we're going to talk about Brian, and we either going to accept or reject him as a suspect. He's been on the suspect list too long. We should be able to remove him or put a stamp on him and say he was one of the perpetrators. We should be able to do that by now. Don't you think? Don't you think we should be able to do that by now? To me, he just looks like a scared guy. I haven't agreed with those who say, oh my God, he looks scary. They wouldn't look 2 times at him in the grocery store. It's biased because they know what he's arrested for. And that's Cindy Abbott. Shout out to Cindy Abbott. That's right. He doesn't look creepy at all. He looked like somebody that was trying to get his PhD. That's all. And it's just turning into all of these different things for, how social media is. We have to deal with that. But at the same time, we welcome a new member. We welcome Deb Tudoro. We welcome Willow. You guys are the greatest, man. Just the greatest. Okay, I'm going to read a few more comments. I'm going to read a few more comments and see what y'all want to talk about now. Did you see Facebook Moscow Police Department page looking for 3 guys and they are showing a white card? I would like to see that. I would like to see which one it is. I would like to see that. I would like to see that one. I know Kaylee didn't get off her phone after that other than to order her food, and then she was right back on it at the pickup window. Right. Okay, that's Tony. All right. Did you see on Moscow? Love MJ too. I would like to get that one. I'm going to have to check on that one. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. All right. We got a new member, Marion M. Marion, you've been messing around all night. You know you're supposed to be a part of this group. You know it. You knew it from the first minute, Marion. All right. Welcome, Marion. We got 2 new members tonight. Marion and Deb Tudoro. Welcome to Marion. Let's show Marion some love, please, for joining the pack. A super sleuth. Yay! Welcome. Welcome. You guys are awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. We got Deb and Marion M. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Now let's see, what do we got going here? Does anyone know how they were renting 1122? I just think they split the rent. I remember seeing it. I have it in my file somewhere. I think it was like $2,100 a month, and they split that. True, people can recover from drug addiction and live a very successful life. Shaming him for drug use is appalling. Everyone struggles in one way or another. That's true. And I'm going to give you a shout out, Willow. That's true. And he looks darn good for somebody that, I mean, even if he was out doing heroin in his younger days, I mean, Pennsylvania is fast. I'm sure they got some rural parts of Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania is Pennsylvania. Where's Renee Phillips? Help me out, Renee. Pennsylvania is not just a cakewalk as far as a place to live and raise kids. So, I mean, he looked darn good at Washington. He had his apartment, he had his job as the teaching aide, and he was putting in applications to be a policeman. And his family was dependent on him to go the distance here and secure a very good job and be able to send some money back home to the family. They were all dependent on that. And he was doing it. Because girls will get up and go to college after high school. But some guys, they don't want to do it. And I'm not trying to sound sexist or racist or whatever. I'm just saying, when there's no athletics or any of that involved, for a guy to get up and just go to college, you'll have more females that'll do that. A lot of guys that's in college, it's because of sports. But just to get up and go to college and you're not playing a sport, you're not aspiring to some league or whatever, you're going for some type of studying, discipline, academic discipline, then there's something to be said for that. And I just don't see this guy getting that far up in his career. I can see him relapsing, going and getting him a little weed to smoke. I can see him either going and slipping and getting a hit or something every now and then. Maybe vaping or something. Maybe they got a vape shop in Moscow that he really likes, and they don't have the one he likes in Pullman. I can see that. Him going for some, small accessory or, treat or something for himself. But I don't see him risking his whole career to try to kill 4 people without getting caught. For what? For what? For what? For what? For what? For what? What is Brian Kohlberger's motive? Somebody tell me. Let's see, Sudi. I thought I saw Sudi in here. Ellie felt threatened by him since he wanted to be in the force. Hold on a minute. He probably would not tolerate anything illegal. Probably wouldn't. I mean, shout out to Sudi. He seems to be by the book. That's why they were complaining about him at the school. Because he wasn't grading them, giving them an A+ on their paper for wearing a miniskirt. They had to earn it. And that's a dirty word for some of this generation. Earn it. They buy papers online and turn them in. They don't even do their homework. And then you in there with blonde hair and a miniskirt, or you got some nice brunette pigtails and some tights on and some short shorts, and this guy still gave you an F, you know that can hurt your ego. He gave you an F, a failing grade for the garbage you turned in, even though you got on a miniskirt and you just dyed your hair a week ago. You got on eyelashes and you still got an F. Imagine that. Imagine you got on a miniskirt and eyelashes in class and your teacher is a man and he still give you an F. Come on now. Honestly. Think about it. You come into class and you and your friends and y'all are cute to everybody. Everybody that come through, you cute to them. Right? Everybody's cute to you. I mean, everybody's telling you you cute. And so here you in a classroom with this guy from Pennsylvania is not studying you. That's how we say it. He's not studying you. He ain't studying you. And then you get your paper, there's a big fat F on it. But you cute though. And so they're complaining, and this guy got that kind of discipline to get these little beboppers F when they deserve it. Hey, I don't see him going anywhere but up as a teacher. So it's no reason for them to fire him. He was doing his job. And I don't believe unless this mess had jumped off right around, we know around the 15th, they were on Brian Kohlberger's tail and they had notified WSU. So right around between the 13th and the 15th, they were notifying WSU about Brian Kohlberger. And that's when WSU started writing letters and claiming that they were firing this guy and he was such a big problem, trying to come up with a good reason why they're firing him so they won't get sued. That's how that went. It wasn't something that was just going to happen, because if Brian knew whether he had a job when he left with his dad, he would have left. He would have, if he wasn't going to be a teacher's assistant anymore, wouldn't that mean that he would lose his apartment? He would have to move somewhere else. Why would they let him go home with his apartment locked up? And he wasn't going to be teaching, and they knew before he left, he wasn't going to be, they would have got his keys. He would have had to find him somewhere to live on his own dime, probably. Because being a teacher's assistant was probably a stipulation of his scholarship or his apartment, or how he was being able to be enrolled in school in the first place. So if he was going to be fired, they would have took his key and say, hey, you don't qualify for that apartment anymore. You're going to have to go get you a dorm room with 2 or 3 other people and get in here with these young folks, because you're not a teacher's assistant anymore. When you come back, you're just a student. You need to find you a dorm. Did they do that? No. So Brian was coming back to school. When he got in the car with his dad, he was coming back to school. All right. Never send your kids to school on that side of the country, for real. I don't know, Willow, because on that same day, we had 2 or 3 students get gunned down over on the East Coast. I believe they were football players. We had 2 murders on November the 13th. One in Idaho and one on the East Coast. I believe the guy got on the bus and killed three or 4 on the east side. Let me see if I can find that. It was 2 murders that day. It's really sad to say, but it was 2. It was two murders. It was one, I want to say, in Jersey. I don't see the other. I know. I believe they were on the bus. Okay, it was Virginia. It was Virginia on the same day. Yeah. This was on the same day. 3 football players got murdered in Virginia. Y'all don't remember that? Let me put this up here. All right. Y'all don't remember that? Where the 3 football players got gunned down in Virginia on the same day as the Idaho 4? Okay. I got it right here on the desktop. I'm getting ready to load it for you. This is it right here. All right. Student suspect in custody after 3 football players shot dead and 2 people wounded at University of Virginia. That happened the same day as the Idaho 4. Okay, I think Cindy is signing off. All us getting ready to sign off. I didn't know it was this late. Okay, it's 11:43. I'm going to put a pin in it right here and give you guys a chance to talk. And somebody asked me the last time, they said, did you save the chat? So I'm not sure how to do that. I need to figure it out right quick. I am so excited. Hold on, Far Canal. If I didn't think I was going loopy, I have 100% seen a video of Bethany's room having a sliding door, so there was access. I can't find it again. Far Canal. All right. Hey, Tony Grant, AF, Dell, Far Canal, Renee Phillips, Marion M. Sudi, Vaycheck. I'm trying to find the. You do so much work on this, and I appreciate you. Thanks, girl. Aw, how sweet. You guys are the best. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all really blessed me tonight because I'm telling you, it's some work, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, I can usually see the chat on replay. Leslie, shout out to Leslie Vasquez. Leslie, where you been, Leslie? All right. All right. Now, I just want to say, I want everybody to be blessed. And the next meeting, listen, the next members only meeting is next Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now, if that's too early, I just realized you guys on the West Coast, that would be what? 9 o'clock in the morning, right? So I need to make it a little later. I need to make the members only live a little later than 12 because it would be 9 o'clock in the morning for you all on the West Coast. And I would like for y'all to I would like for y'all to make it to the members only meeting. So I'm gonna set the members only meeting to 1 o'clock, and I'm gonna put that in the chat. I'm gonna move it down to 1 o'clock for next week, so that the people on the West Coast, it'll just be 10 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. It'll be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday. So that'll be 10 o'clock. All right, and what else? Okay, we got new members. Everybody gave a great welcome. I appreciate you for that. Okay, and I hope that as many members as can try to make the meeting next Wednesday. That'll be good. And if you can't, you got replay. Don't feel bad if you have to watch on replay. As long as you can get in on it, it's good. If you have to watch it at your greatest convenience, that's the reason for technology, advanced technology. So you can watch whenever you want to watch it. You don't have to be there at the time that I recorded live. If you can just watch it on replay, I appreciate that too, because you're still giving your time. And you can't tell people what to do with their time. So if anybody has to watch something on replay, don't feel bad. You don't have to apologize. At least you watched it. Hey, you gave some time. I'm sure you probably commented on the video. That's great. That's enough. I mean, we would love to meet live and in living color, but we all have different schedules and we all in different parts of the world, really. When I looked at my statistics before, we got people in here from England, Canada, Scotland, Australia, Trinidad, South Africa, Brazil, New Zealand. I'm just saying, we got people from a lot of different places. And I love you all. And everybody's in different time zones. So eventually I will be able to accommodate just about everybody. But for right now, I'm just trying to make it the meetings late enough that nobody has to be up at the crack of dawn to catch it if they want to be live. Okay, but other than that, I don't think I have any more announcements. Like I said before, the channel will be receiving its first. Oh, I do have some announcement about the other channels. Okay, Shekinah Glory, I'm still releasing scriptures. I try to do it once a week. I try to, but I'm trying to do it. I have the scripture comes out as a short once a week. Shekinah Glory, you can check that out for your just sort of like a little word for the week. And the World News Channel, I haven't posted anything since the South Africa video. And the next video I post will most likely be about South Africa elections and let's see, the load shedding problem. So that's what's going to be going on in the World News Channel. And she kind of glory, we're still on the shorts until I announce that I'm actually having a little small service there where it's going to be like Bible study, straight up like that. Okay, so I'll let you know in the community page when I'm ready to do that. But right now, I'm just grateful everything's still going. Uh, we got enough free trials and stuff to last us a while, so we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Thank you to everybody coming out tonight. I love y'all. You're the greatest. And let's just treat each other well. Keep moderators and just try to keep these people respectful in the videos. Some of them just blurt out some crazy stuff. Just don't delete anybody's comment. That's my only thing. Other than that, everybody's doing a great job. And the sky's the limit. You never know. We might have our own corporation one day. You never know. You never know. All right. And thank you again. Thank you to Robin Latham for the purchase of the apron, the first merch purchase. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all our new members. Just thank you. And we are going to adjourn now. This live is officially adjourned, but I'll say God bless you, first of all. And second of all, I'm going to leave it open for 5 minutes so that you all can continue to chat and exchange information and whatever. And I'm going to put my email in the chat right now for those who don't have it. And you all go on and you have a beautiful night. Much love. Signing off, the Hard Truth. All right, there's my email. Okay, and there's also donation information on the community page. Anybody that would like to just do straight donation, Cash App or PayPal, that would be the community page. And also I have Payoneer coming soon. Payoneer coming soon. That's another announcement I need to make. All right. I'm done now.